Oh, yeah. This is the Keep It P podcast where we take news, situations, everyday occurrences, and indeed we show how one could have and could not have been keeping it P. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm trying to show you how to think. That's the reason why I bust down the articles the way I do. Ooh. Let me take that big logo out the way. There we go. Yeah, so let's just get right on into it. Y'all know what it is. Hold on. Line it up. So before I even get started, I just want to say, like, you know how everybody say black people do the most crime, blah blah blah, the most statistics, blah blah blah, which are slightly skewed because we know, PC people get arrested for a lot of crimes, but they rarely face the actual charges. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be having cases like this where it's always the officer had to plant something or stick something on somebody to make something work. If that was the case, then it would just go through, right? But that's like never the case. And I'm trying to understand why. Well, we know why this keeps happening, because they need to fumble and foul the numbers because black people ain't doing what they say they doing. Anyway, it goes on to say, we got Richard Latham wasn't sure about how to react when he got a letter in July informing him that the Los Angeles police detective who helped get him put in prison for murder had racist remarks about black people. It's like a glimmer of optimism that the revelation could win him a new trial collided with a profound anger and felt about more than 3 decades that he spent in prison for a crime he says he didn't commit, and I believe him. It said Latham has always suspected the detective Brian McCartan of targeting him simply because he was black and a gang member, which I believe him, but nobody else did. It says, and something else about the leather bothered Latham. It said that McCarthy, who was retired, made the remarks in 2014, and the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, however, didn't notify Latham about them until this summer. That's 8 years later, after the prosecutor first learned of the comments, 4 years after the Times published it on the front page story detailing the whole thing. Why did they wonder? Because you're black and they're not concerned about ripping you from your family, or, the kids you've been stolen from. Like, they literally stole this dude's life on a whim. And this ain't just him. It's a lot of people in prison for the same thing. Even if you want to say, yeah, he was still living a certain life. Yeah, okay, and who doesn't? But in that same token, he didn't get caught for doing something he was actually doing. It's a basic rule in the U.S. justice system that the prosecutors must turn over defendants' evidence that could help exonerate them, including information that calls into question the credibility of a police officer involved in their case. Failure to disclose such information, called Brady material, after Brady versus Maryland, a landmark 1963 Supreme Court ruling that established the rule, can result in a conviction being thrown out or a new appeal being granted. And of course, they don't want to start digging into these police officers' files that's doing this kind of crap, because a lot of people would be kicked out, and that would probably result in a lot of people being demoted from the positions that they're in, because they get those demotions based off the criminality and how they put people up and blah, 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 you know. It goes on to say that Los Angeles Times Communications LLC and its affiliates, Los Angeles Times, operate newspaper and news entertainment information and other print, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hold on. Look, I'm reading something else. It says it goes on to say how this obligation is carried out, however, is less clear, as law enforcement officers often fight to keep allegations of misconduct under wraps, and prosecutors serve as gatekeepers deciding whether or not to disclose information. Why? Because those jobs and those sergeants and those commanders and chiefs, all that counts on it. And prosecutors as well, because they move up in DA positions when they prosecute more and that kind of thing too. So it's a vicious cycle. So all of them should be held accountable. But it says sometimes it is obvious when information needs to be shared, such as an officer or a deputy has recorded on lying, like McCarthy, but the district attorney's office, they seesaw for years over what to do. No, they knew exactly what to do, and somehow the pressure or the heat was on for some young Top Gun lawyers like, yo, we need this evidence. Initially, prosecutors under District Attorney Jackie Lacey dismissed the comments in an ignominious saying that they didn't reflect the bias against the black people. Then George Gaskin took the office in 2020 and decided otherwise, finding that McCarthy was among several other law enforcement officers whose conduct needed to be disclosed. So, George Gascon, okay. It says and see, that can only be coming out right now because they trying to out somebody who doesn't play fair or work well with the team that's already established in place. So they could just be getting rid of people that's got, messed up links in the chain to get new people in on the squad. It says the time contracted several officials, Lacey's administration, who probably would have been aware of McCarthy's comments, but none responded. It is unclear whether Lacey, who did not respond for the request or comment, knew of them. Attempts to reach McCarthy, who left the LAPD in June 2015, was unsuccessful. In 2014, McCarthy was drinking at a little bar called Little Tokyo with a group that included the district attorney Rob Ramley and Peter Arian and the deputy federal prosecutor defender. But at some point, McCarthy began discussing his experience with gang members, saying that something to the effect of, I was out there with those niggas. Rambasi later recorded in court, finding that McCarthy then said they called themselves that, according to Rubani. Arian, who memorialized the incident in his email he sent to himself, said that McCarthy used a slur while making distinctive between law-abiding black citizens and gang members. So, a couple things. That's Chris Rock with there's a difference between black people and niggas. He's riding off of that. Second of all, this kind of plays into exactly what I said, because who sends an email to themselves about a conversation that y'all have while you out drinking if you ain't out to get homeboy? Now, come on now. Anyway, it goes on to say, a review by the Times court case people of McCarthy have convicted shown that the defense attorney echoed Johnson attorneys arguing detectives' comments raised serious questions about his handling of an investigation involving black defendants. So now y'all want to say something. That's what I'm telling y'all. This got all type of Gordons on it, straight fish sticks, and I can smell the mayo through the words on the page. Last but not least, says if the detectives did use such words, it may have been due to a group drinking and a hardened nature of the conversation and not necessarily reflect any bias, the prosecutor wrote. Splain. Told you. That's like, are we throwing you on the bus, cuz, but we don't really want to throw us under the bus. That was just you. It says, although the prosecutor's failure to make defendants aware of his comments in 2014 was unethical, defendants would have grounds to seek a new trial and face appeal only in particular cases. Weinberg said, including which McCarthy was lead investigator and could have influenced the witness identification of a black suspect. This would include Lathan's case. Man, get that brother on up out of there. And all the other ones that this clearly race soldier manipulated these cases to have these people locked down. Stop playing. Like, y'all know what it is. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about that on Saturday. Is that true? Like, if we did so many crimes, why they always got to set something up? Do you know how many people's careers is built off of fixing cases to look like they got a high conviction rate and this, that, and the third? Come on now. Anyway, 4 words I leave you with: love, peace, blessings, and aloha. Gotta go for sure, ha. Out the door, ha. You already know how. Blizzam.
We need to go out here and say exactly what we want. and we got to say it with our chest. And we kind of start pussyfooting around, and we got to stop being scared to say exactly what we want, what we need. We need that paper. Say it with your chest. Damn all that. We need justice. We need y'all to love us. No. We don't need that paper. We need reparations in the form of a check. Let's stop being afraid to say that. Yeah?
No, you get the money from that robbery before you went upstate. I told you motherfucker I got your money yet, man. Fuck you, man. You ain't got the money yet. Fuck you think you is, man. Motherfucker.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
You gonna do? I'm supposed to be scared.
Look, I don't play with this shit. You don't even know what I gave to this shit. Self-made with this shit. I slay with this shit. Been a lot of roads I done paved with this shit. Look, see, I don't play with this shit.
Kyrie with the give and go. I get it cheap for the low. More snow than the Eskimo big birdies. Taking flight, change your life in one night. Right 2 a.m. if you do it right. Up late like midnight. Small fish, big appetite. Get an extra 4 if you whip it right. Got good gas and it's light bright. Got
He been hula hooping through loopholes, working round shit.
You can count lava down, but you can't count them out, baby. Life give me lemons, I make lemon rain. I gotta go, gotta hustle to get it. If you ain't talking business, little shawty, you
Hey, Riri.
hey Rihanna, hey girl, how you doing? I'm into you like Trump's in the building. I know that might sound a little confusing. I had to say it for my own amusement. What I'm trying to say is, can we go cruising? Top down, blow some good gas, and listen.
Russian cream, leaves, keef, oil, premium bud. Man, I hustle in the street, but I'm a freak with the love.
Bring that ass over, tryna bring it back. I'm a big dog, tryna bring it back. I'ma slide in the way to bring it back. Let a nigga.
All I wanna do is see you move it. All I wanna do is see you get down. All I wanna do is see you move it. All I wanna do is see you get down. All I wanna do is see you move it. All I wanna do is see you get down. All I wanna do is see you move it.
Music 2